What's going on with that PPP? You done a lot of talking, not a lot to see. Up in the millions like 2.3, but Jeff got it all, getting off scot-free. Try to talk tips like we talking about stock, but you're talking about men printed on called stock. When you open your mouth, I take it with a grain of salt, cause the market's down and you're a clown, it's all your fault. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. Did you dip, Jeff? I think you dipped, Jeff. What you talking about? I don't think you dipped yet. Willie's doing shady shit like the GOBs, like his whole failed thing with them NFTs, taking money from the people to pay. Most of them are broke, but that's okay, he's getting money. Even better, tax-free, loving all the stimulus from PPP. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit.
B-side on the beat.
What's going on with that PPP? You done a lot of talking, not a lot to see. Up in the millions like 2.3, but Jeff got it all, getting off scot-free. Try to talk tips like we talking about stock, but you're talking about men printed on called stock. When you open your mouth, I take it with a grain of salt, cause the market's down and you're a clown, it's all your fault. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. Did you dip, Jeff? I think you dipped, Jeff. What you talking about? I don't think you dipped yet. Willie's doing shady shit like the GOBs, like his whole failed thing with them NFTs, taking money from the people to pay. Most of them are broke, but that's okay, he's getting money. Even better, tax-free, loving all the stimulus from PPP. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit.
What is going on, everybody? Hopefully, guys are doing well out there. That is right. It is another Thursday night here on Sports Card Radio. We are joined again by super producer Tim in the background and none other than Ryan, Sports Card News. We are the twins responsible for the longest running, the most documented, the most threatened lawsuits, the most views, the most downloads, the most hate, and the most praise here on YouTube and the internet. We started, man, it was over 25 years ago. We got a wholesale license and started flipping trading cards. We opened up a sports trading card shop in 2006. And in 2008, Sports Card Radio launched. Sports Card Radio grew to be easily one of the most visited sports card websites in the world. And the podcast became a sensation heard around the globe. Since then, we have taken our talents to YouTube, and we are telling the truth, slaying the grifters, and entertaining the massive, as we always do here on Sports Card Radio. Hopefully the chat is fired up tonight, because I certainly am. We've got rigged boxes. We've got untimely passings, which we'll talk. We've got Ja and Zion watching their career and their card values going down the tubes. Sports card investors around the world are holding the bag, and it doesn't look like it is going to be that great. But the sports card influencers are not going to tell you the truth. And we are here on Sports Card Radio to tell you the things that the rest of the sports card industry is not going to inform you. A lot of people have just gotten back into the hobby. When Jeff Wilson got his second PPP loan, folks, we remember, and we did podcast when Topps originally sold their business to Madison Dearborn Partners and Michael Eisner. We were around when Panini pulled a Fanatics and bought all the licenses and kicked Upper Deck, Leaf, Press Pass, and many other brands to the curb. What is happening today in the sports card market with loaded boxes, with influencers trying to tell you what to buy and what to sell, is not new. We've been around the block a few times here on Sports Card Radio, and we're back in the Tesla, and we've got it on autopilot, and we are going to take you through the week of trading card news. Ryan, little 5-minute intro there for you. Hopefully you are having a wonderful day out there. Why don't you say hello to the chat that is all fired up as usual?
I see the chat. It's already gassed up as usual on a Thursday night. We got hockey playing right now. We got Florida up. Cover your ears if you don't want spoiler alert. Florida is up 1-0 on the Vegas Knights. So hopefully nighttime will happen pretty soon here. And a parade might be coming to the Las Vegas Strip at any moment. Denver's up 2-1 in the NBA Finals. Got a lot happening in the sports world. We've got a lot happening, guys, in the sports card world. We've got, once again, more layoffs, more rigged boxes, folks. This time coming directly from Topps. I don't know if you saw this, Colin, but did you see your boy Michael Rubin with a very famous soccer player? And I apologize that I don't know his name or how to pronounce his name, Antoine Griezmann. I probably just butchered his name there. He has 8 million followers on Twitter. So this guy probably scored a few goals or at least defended a few in his lifetime. They were over here opening tons of cards, but the box in question that apparently was in the backyard breaks pile. I mean, like how this box didn't end up over backyard breaks, I guess it's part of the investigation tonight right here on Sports Card Radio. But Michael Rubin, Antoine Griezmann, I'm probably butchering his name. People, if anybody knows the pronunciation, spell it out in the chat. But Michael Rubin posted a video of them breaking cards. Let me refresh this. And I want to pause the video right here. And I want you to take a look at the box in question. It is a 2023 Topps Sterling baseball box, okay? And I want you to take a look at what that box looks like. And this is our first chance to see this box. This is an edited video. This is not done group break style where everything's on camera and there's an overhead cam. This is an edited video by probably Topps or whoever's working for Michael Rubin here. And it's a 45-second clip. This is the first chance we get to see this box. And I just want people to understand that this is not how this box normally is. Normally, there is an inner sleeve. This probably looks like a silver inner sleeve with an MLB hologram. And then it is wrapped, plastic wrapped, however you want to call it, in a Topps seal. Okay, so there's actually 2 wraps before you get to this part. Is it possible? The person holding this box is the president of Topps, David Liner, who we'll see on camera later. It is not Michael Rubin. It is not Antoine Griezmann. They're being presented this box from the president of, he's the president of Topps, but I think his official title is president of Fanatics Trading Cards. But that is not how this box is. So is it possible that they edited out the part where he cuts the saran wrap off? Possibly, but if you did take this to court and you were presenting a legal argument, I think it's fair to say that, hey, this is the first time we see this box and there is no wrap on this box. Then what proceeds to happen is Mr. Griezmann says right here, I have a big one, I am sure. And he is actually referring to the trading card. This is a G-rated show. We're going to keep this G-rated. But at the 6-second mark, we're going to walk you through frame by frame, folks. We're not just going to make accusations over here. We'll watch you through frame by frame why this box might be rigged. Griezmann says, I have a big one, I am sure. He makes the comment before he's able to actually see the card. Now, could he maybe see through this little this little foam thing that everybody knows is on top of the little box? Maybe. He's probably opened maybe a box of these two before. Maybe he knows he hit a cut signature or something huge. Probably minor. I don't think Antoine is a part of any conspiracy here. But it is interesting, again, if you're presenting this case before a judge, you would say, hey, this guy said, I have a big one, I am sure. And when he was talking about the card inside of the box, okay, not anything else. As the video proceeds, again, he says, he tells Ruben, I have a big one, I'm sure. Ruben's getting a little scared. He's like, dang, what's about? Oh! He reveals the top of the card, and that is when David Leiner, the president who handed him the open box, he says, Jackie. He says, Jackie at the 12-second mark. He says, Jackie. So he calls it out, and you see Guzman over here is looking at Ruben like, oh, I got you, buddy. Jackie. He says, oh, and then the reveal. Oh, David Leiner, we're going to talk about him in a second, but here's his little surprise face. And he handed him a box that had a Jackie Robinson cut signature that you're about to see in a minute. Everybody's freaking out. And you never see the wrapping for the box. I want to go back to frame one. This wrapping, I've watched this video, and maybe I haven't watched it close enough, but this wrapping never comes into frame. So maybe it was tossed aside, maybe it was thrown away, maybe it wasn't on there to begin with, but we never see that wrap again. There's the Jackie Robinson cut. That's obviously a very expensive card. Now we're not done. You see the inner box wrapping. What happens when you open the box, there's these two inner boxes that are, again, saran wrap sealed and then a box. I know for sure we see the mini boxes down here, but I don't know if I don't ever see the plastic wrap. And again, that's a very, I think, key point. Ruben opens his pack, and he pulls a freaking Mike Trout autograph. So out of one box, they pull a freaking Jackie Robinson cut signature card and then a Mike Trout card. And thus, the conclusion of the video. I'll walk you through these frames once again. Again, there was no wrap when he handed him the box. Could that wrap have already been taken off? Abso-freaking-lutely, but we never see it. Guzman says, I have a big one, I am sure. Talking about the card before he even ever sees the card. You can clearly see that on the video. David Leiner calls out Jackie, like just as you maybe could see the card. He says, Jackie. David Leiner is probably the only person in the room who may know what's inside the box because he handed it to him. Here's David Leiner at 20 seconds, his surprised face. And I just want to point out to you guys, this guy's boss is Michael Rubin. Think about how if you're at your job and your boss came in with a famous soccer player who has 8 million followers on Twitter, how big a day, first of all, that would be at work. That'd be a big deal. You'd know about it ahead of time. You'd plan ahead. You'd have probably meetings about it. The boss, Michael Rubin, is coming in with a very famous soccer player. Okay, this is a very big deal at work. So David Leiner does have some incentive to set up and rig a box break and make it look good, not for marketing purposes, not to sell more boxes at Topps, but to make himself look good in front of Michael Rubin, his boss. What better way to make yourself look good in front of Michael Rubin and a soccer player with 8 million followers than to hit a Jackie Robinson and a Mike Trout card. Is that better than if he pulled a Dustin May and a JD Davis autograph? Probably so. And once again, you can really, if you really watch this video very closely and you're not kind of watching the action, you're watching all the couch, you're looking at the floor, you're looking at the table, you're looking at all the other stuff going on. You never see the plastic wrapping, either on the inner boxes and especially the outer box. There should be 2 pieces of wrapping that came off this box before it was handed to them. Now, there absolutely could be video of this. You can see there's multiple camera angles as they're shooting this. There's one there. We get a shot of David Liner. There's like another camera over here. I feel like there's at least 2 cameras in this, and then they edited this together. Is it possible the wrapping came off and then he hands it to them? Absolute freaking lootly. You can see they've also opened other cards. They opened a box of 2023 Topps baseball as well. You can see there's other cards on the table. So there's other things that were happening here. But it is interesting that you don't see the wrapper, and then obviously they hit 2, one massive card, and then the Trout card is obviously a very big card as well. What do you think about all this?
Well, I mean, look, to hit a Jackie and then a Trout is clear, clearly doesn't happen every day. And the fact that it happens on camera with an athlete, a social media star, and the owner of the company, look, what quacks like a duck, what looks like a duck is a duck. And so, and we've seen these types of things before. We've seen in the past, it wasn't with major soccer stars, and even Ruben himself is pretty recognizable in a lot of business circles as well. So you got 2 real recognizable guys there. In the past, it used to be you would send the box to Chris Olds, and they would sit down in a dusty room and open the boxes and hit the case hits there. This stuff's been going out the back door. So, this type of stuff has been happening for a while. And, so it's not surprising to me. The one thing that I don't like about it is, the people in our chat, the people that tune into a channel like this, they're not fooled by this. And it's almost like insulting to their intelligence, to do some marketing like this. And does the hobby need people in the hobby that watch something like this and think this is like the norm? Like, is this the type of marketing that we actually want in the hobby? That you open up a box, you get 2, like, this is a once in a lifetime type of box. We've opened our fair share of boxes. Everybody watching has opened their fair share of boxes. I would wager to say nobody has ever had a break like this, ever, where you pull 2 of the greatest baseball players of all time, one from a statistical perspective, the other one from a historical perspective. You never hit this, let alone on camera with a soccer star as marketing material. It just doesn't happen. Unless your backyard breaks, I guess. So
they break all the time. Remember that?
Yeah,
was the argument
true
about backyard breaks. They break all the time. This is, again, that argument doesn't work with this particular break. This is literally a one-off box that was opened already with no seal on it. So this is pretty sketchy, honestly. I think what Topps should do. I know you didn't ask me this, but what I think Topps should do, if anybody cares, I think they should go onto their YouTube channel and just release an extended cut of this, show the boxes being open, show them ripping open the mini boxes, stuff people would want to see anyways. This guy's got 8 million followers. The soccer player's got 8 million followers on Twitter. Like, the guy's uber famous. I think he was breaking boxes with on Instagram with card porn the other day. The dude's into cards. seems like. So put up some footage of them opening this. This will kind of, for these people over, you need to do that for really these people over here. Because that'll kind of squell any kind of conspiracy theories like that was an open loaded box. Because then they could say, oh, look, they're just, those stupid guys over at Sports Card Radio are just jimming up conspiracy theories again. Those guys, those negative Nancy's over there, they don't know what they're talking about. It's all random. Michael Liner or David Liner wouldn't do that. People at Tops wouldn't do that. Wouldn't be worth it to them. You know, that would be their argument. But again, I would present to them the evidence that I presented here. This wasn't a wrapped box, or at least we hadn't seen it wrapped. Guzman says, I have a big one, I am sure. And he's talking about the card and not anything else. Liner calls out Jackie right as he like slides the little foam thing down. Leinert has actually incentive to make this go well. Huge day in the office, huge day for him professionally. He's a young guy. He needs to keep a six-figure job. Just got a new boss. Boss could fire him at any time. Probably a lot of people gunning for this guy's job. And then if Liner gets fired from Tops, what's his next move? He goes, works for the collectible app. He goes and is CEO of StarStock. So he's got no move. I mean, this guy like needs Michael Rubin, needs to impress Michael Rubin. We've all been in this situation. We've all had bosses. We've all been in a professional environment. Think about how you act when your boss is around. And again, where's the wrapping on any of the boxes, even the inner boxes? It's hard to see. This table has a reflection on it. So there are a couple little angles where I don't know if it's the reflection off of this like marble table or if it's the plastic wrap, but there's never a clear view of the plastic wrap over the top of these boxes. And then obviously there's no clear view of the inner sleeve and then the plastic wrap. He literally, obviously, as you can see, just hands them the box like this. So I think Topps should just come out with some more footage, tamp down the little if they have it, if they have the footage, come out with the footage of this kind of looking random, and that'll tamp down any. I think the point I also wanted to make out is the smartest thing Fanatics ever did. Imagine if this was actually a loaded box. Imagine if the soccer player came out on his Twitter and was like, hey, yeah, guys, it was loaded. Or one of these cameramen in here said it was loaded, or a former employee that was all bent out of shape came out and said, hey, this was all loaded when Ruben came in. None of these people would say a word about it because, look, they have their own Topps, quote, Fanatics card. This is the smartest thing. I mean this with all sincerity. This is not hyperbole. This is not me being sarcastic or trying to make a joke. Smartest thing Topps does, Fanatics does, is get all, and there's not very many of them, get all the little influencers on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, wherever, put them on a card. Then they'll never, you think any of these people will ever say anything bad about Topps or Fanatics? They'll tiptoe around it. So I think that's a smart, I'm being serious, this is smart to do this. Because if this is a loaded box, nobody's going to care. And barely anybody's going to cover it. It's kind of like what's happening with the Zion Williamson thing. There's a lot of media out there that actually literally can't touch what's going on in Zion Williamson's life right now. Same with Ja. So if you are an entity that can talk about it, you're probably getting clicks right now, right?
You're getting something if you're
our
Zion,
boy Zion's getting into a lot over here. We keep it a G-rated show, but our boy Zion's I think it's also interesting how look at these two cards. 22,000 population, this card's worth $62. 22,000 populations, cards worth $55. So Ja is actually still worth more than Zion.
Wow.
Same exact card, same year, virtually the same population. A little more Zion, it looks like. Ja's worth a little more. Thought that was interesting. So you have anything more thoughts on this perhaps rigged situation here?
Well, I think it's just it's a sign of things to come. and it shows a little bit of Tops's I don't, naivete maybe, or just their cockiness that they think in 2023 this is this is effective marketing, because again, say somebody thinks this is real and it's like, oh wow, I can buy whatever that box costs and I can hit a Jackie and a Trout, and then they realize 6 months later, 12 months later, after spending countless numbers on breaks, and again, unless they go break it backyard, and that that this is not the norm. This is maybe happens to one collector out of 1,000 in their entire life. A box like this just simply does not exist. Boxes like this are not the norm, and I just don't think it's that effective of marketing, in my opinion. It's just over glamorizes it, and in a hobby like this, I don't think we need to do that. I think we can shine light on other things. They're clearly having fun. Like, to me, it's like, let's talk about having fun. It doesn't matter if you pull a Jackie Robinson. It doesn't matter if you pull a Trout. 3 guys got together. One's a soccer player, one's a business owner, and one runs a business. Like, let's it brings people together. We're having fun, and what you get is what you get. And I think more reality based stuff in the hobby would be better. But for our sake, for our show, for our program, look, this stuff is going to continue. And no, like you said, they've got all the influencers locked up. They're not going to say anything. All the group breakers out there, they're not going to say anything. All the shop owners out there, they're not going to say anything, and then there's going to be a lot of like up and comer influencers and a lot of people that maybe don't have a large audience, but look, at one time, audience is relative, but at one time we didn't have a huge audience either. You're not going to say anything either. So there's going to be very few people in the hobby that are going to call this out and call it for what it is. And there's going to be even fewer people in this hobby that have seen this before. And we've seen this time and time again. Look, people used to send us free boxes that were probably loaded. You know what I mean? Like, we've gotten product that was loaded, and we knew it was loaded.
Hey, hey, anybody want to send us some loaded boxes? Like, send us an email, sportscardshow@gmail.com. And yeah, we'll take the loaded box.
I'm still waiting for Brian Gray to send AIH Sports a bunch of loaded product.
Yeah, let's go, Brian.
Over there. Open it up. We'll give it away, and we'll have a good time. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me. And, I think the large percentage of the hobby is not fooled by any of this. And it's, I think it comes at a poor time, poor taste to tie in kind of the Ja and the Zion stuff. You've got just this massive downdraft in these cards, particularly the modern cards. But even if you zoom out and you look at Jeter rookies, Jordan rookies, Griffey, pretty much anything other than a 52 mantle maybe has trended in the wrong direction. And now here we are showing boxes with Jackie Robinson cuts and Mike Trouts. I think it sends the wrong message. I think it paints the wrong picture. I think we could be painting a different picture of this hobby other than, one of big hits, big reward, high risk, high reward, hitting the big hit. It should be more about getting together, having fun. I know that's like whatever. People may not want to hear that, but sports cards should really be more about getting together, having fun, talking about the athletes, that type of stuff. That's what I think.
I think it could perhaps bring in more people. And well, you're also setting an expectation too, that not everything, like, this is literally, the biggest marketing thing that we've seen from Topps in the last couple, week. Ruben and the soccer player open a box, and then they pull a freaking Jackie Robinson and a Trout autograph.
Right.
In the same box.
Like to see more sustainable, sustainable marketing campaigns. This isn't sustainable, where every product comes out you find some athlete, you open it on camera, you hit the biggest hit in the product, and it's like, oh, wow, cool. How are, like, where are we going to progress now from this? Okay. Like the next set's going to come out and we're going to do this again. Like, that is what's sustainable, though, is the community, the fun of opening a box. That is sustainable. Marketing that is sustainable. We've seen what is not sustainable is, the modern NBA player and the modern card just goes skyrocketing in the moon. It's an investment. It's an alternative asset. It's, the next thing other than crypto or whatever. None of that is sustainable. Like none of that is sustainable. And so let's have some sustainable marketing campaigns in this hobby that actually do highlight the stuff that brings people back time and time again. The design of the cards, the configuration of the set, the fun of trying to chase this stuff down. It's actually fun to fantasize and think about pulling cards like this. And here they are just ripping the covers off right away, and maybe that's where society is today. They don't, they just want to watch a 60-second video of the ejaculation. There's no foreplay, there's no romance, there's no anything. It's just boom, 2 of the best cards in the product. Here they are. When in reality,
speaking of ejaculation,
yeah, speaking of that, multiple times. Look, I just think as the hobby moves forward, and this just shows you the David Liner or whatever. I've seen him speak. Honestly, not that impressive of a guy. And if this is the type of marketing that he's coming up with, and this is what he thinks is going to work in the hobby, he's probably going to be out of a job soon, honestly, because Michael Rubin's going to figure out real quick a year from now, this type of marketing is not going to triple the business, not going to quadruple the business. You've got to sell something else. You've got to sell the enjoyment, the togetherness. I know that sounds weird, but that's what group breaking has done, right? Everybody knows you buy into a group break and it's a losing proposition, but you're sitting there in the chat like 400 strong are tonight. You're, like you see your buddy hit a hit. You see you might get a hit. Nobody might hit anything, and you guys can all kind of experience that together. The breakers are playing music in the background. Like it's fun. It's fun. And I think we should be celebrating the fun more than the hits, because it's just not sustainable. And a lot of these modern athletes these days, as we've seen, look, with the advent of social media and how much money these guys are making, we were talking about this the other day off air. We might not see another Kobe anymore. We might not see another guy that just wants to crush, everybody. We might not see a LeBron anymore. We might not see, I don't think it's not, we might not. We're not going to see another Jordan. We're not going to see another Tiger. Look at all these golfers, like, do they have any incentive to fucking grind it out like Tiger did? Probably not. Does the modern NBA athlete have any incentive to grind it out like they used to? Absolutely not. So I just think that the companies would be better off with a different marketing campaign, and one that focuses on the fun of the hobby, the chase, the building of a set, the building of camaraderie, the building of a brand's, the best brands have obviously been around a while, but you're comfortable with what you're chasing. When a product comes out, it's Gold Prism, it's refractors, it's super fractors, it's the rookie autograph or whatever it might be. I just think we should get back to that from a marketing perspective. Then, oh, cool, we just hit 2 of the best products, and oh my God, we're so surprised and shocked. And it's, it's just, this is just a toned down version of what Backyard Breaks does. And look, I don't think it I don't think it's bringing. It's not going to stuff like this has been done. It's not going to bring more people back into the hobby. So, and neither did cards or investments. Cards go up. Cards are an alternative asset. Modern cards are a great investment. You know, none of that worked. None of that worked.
It
And
certainly
so,
wasn't sustainable. It might have worked for like a year or two when the
yeah.
PPP money was flowing and all the stimulus money, but now you could see that that's not a sustainable model. It's
No.
these cards are investment. You buy these things, you send them in to be grading, you wait 6 months and they're worth more or whatever. You buy and hold
Yeah.
these cards. No, absolutely not. Zion's down 41% in the last 3 months. I'm not logged in, or I'd show you guys the 12-month chart. I mean, this is a nightmare. You guys were paying $50 to get these things graded or more when these came out in 2019, 2020. The grading price on these weren't 15 bucks, 20 bucks. You guys were paying a fortune. Not the people in our chat. I'm talking about the people like Jeff Wilson over here was pumping ultra modern cards.
Look, I mean, I follow some of the best brands in the world. People will tease me about it sometimes, about a Rolex or a Louis Vuitton, but I tell you what, the reason why I follow those companies and what the way I interact with those companies every day is I see their branding and I see their marketing. And Rolex marketing is not this. Louis Vuitton's marketing is not this. It's fought like Topps has a history as rich as Rolex. Topps has a history as rich as Louis Vuitton. They should be marketing, and they have access to these athletes. They should be creating so much better marketing than they do. You look at the marketing that Rolex does on golf with Tiger and Brooks Koepka, and it's just great marketing. There was that right before the World Cup, Louis Vuitton had Lionel Messi and Ronaldo playing chess. And I think it was one of the most shared photos of the year. Messi and Ronaldo playing chess on a Louis Vuitton trunk. That was the marketing image. That was it. That's it right there. That is what Topps should be doing. Like, look, you were getting all Louis Vuitton did was put this picture on social media, and you have people posting about it in news magazines. This photo was shared everywhere, and this wasn't even real. This was photoshopped. They got Lionel Messi in a shot, and they put Ronaldo, and they squashed them together. This was not even a real shot of both of them. This is marketing. This is branding. This is what Topps should be doing. They have a long history and a great access to these athletes. Having three chumps sit around and open cards and we pulled a big one. And the company CEO.
Well, it's not even Topps's marketing here. This was shared by Ruben. So it's like, where is Topps's video about this? I mean, maybe they're still cutting it up, but it's like,
but this isn't good enough. It's got to be. You can't let stuff like that out of the product. You don't see great brands let the product be treated like that. It's disrespectful.
Right. You don't see this photo and think, oh, fake Louis Vuitton bags or something. You think two world-class athletes. I want to be both of these guys.
Perfectly timed, right?
That's what I'm thinking. I'd be like, I want to be either one of these guys, like for sure.
Yeah. And it's just, it was perfectly timed. And it's just a photo. That's it. And Topps should be able to do that. It's disrespectful to the product. What they did was to Jackie Robinson, Mike Trout. It's disrespectful to the product, disrespectful to the industry, disrespectful, more importantly, to the viewer and the collector out there. And it's just, and again, it comes down to leadership, and it comes down to, look, Michael Rubin hasn't had to do a lot of branding. He just goes in there and gobbles everything up. And that's not a disrespect to him. That's his business strategy, a roll-up strategy where you basically just eliminate all the competition. But at some point, once you eliminate all the competition, you're stuck with branding and marketing. And I think these guys didn't do a particularly good job there. And maybe I'm not the customer because I do follow the world's greatest brands: Nike, Rolex, Mercedes, Louis Vuitton, really because of the branding and the marketing. So I that's what I follow them for, is on Instagram and Twitter is for the marketing. And then I see brands like Topps don't even come anywhere close. Don't come anywhere close to that. And look, we might be comparing apples to oranges. Might be doing that right now, but I think Topps could step up their game. And if they did, it'd be better for the industry and they'd make more money. And if they want to have me as a consultant and hire me on, the pay just went up as of Monday. So
Yeah, we don't want a card. We want a check.
yeah. And it's got to have, we got some digits. We're in Jeff Wilson's digits to get me to do it.
Exactly. I need a few of these Tiger. Okay, I'm down. I need one more bid probably to actually make money on this. I paid $162 for these, but you get lopped off 10% if you sell wax on gold. And so I'm gonna lose. If I don't get another bid, I'm gonna lose about $17. But I made 45 or 50 on the box last week. So I guess if you combine the two boxes, I'm still up.
It's not bad.
Tiger Woods autograph. It's an 8 auto. I don't know. It looks okay.
Yeah, it looks good. Big autograph. Big signature on that. It's nice.
I'm bidding on this as well, just because, it's UDA. It's framed. Come on.
It's cool.
Marco Scutero. This is like an authentic jersey.
It's cool.
Buster Posey. I'm high bid. Again, this is like what is this? What kind of jersey is this? Sorry. Performance.
Yeah, that's like an on-field Majestic. Those are nice.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like Posey, it's PSA DNA'd no, this one's just TriStar. I think this one was PSA DNA and TriStar. This one is just TriStar. Autograph looks pretty good. Might be an overpay, but
put that in a frame. It'd be nice. Look nice.
I'm not gonna look to flip that or sell that. So everything's going, pretty well in terms of the buying and selling this week. I know I've won some things. I'm just thinking if I should maybe stab one more time at this. Got 9 minutes to think about. Also wanted to mention on the show, RIP, one of the great wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
Iron Sheik. Come on.
Great tweeter too. Like his
legendary
Twitter
tweet.
He was really good at that. Really, I don't know if it was him doing it, but if it was, he really
his brand or whatever. It was.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's okay. Whoever, either he was doing it or whoever he hired, I thought was doing fantastic job.
Also want to point out Dr. Wax Battle. Look at the date of this show, folks. 15 years ago. This is back in 2008. This is before sport. This predates Sports Card Radio. This guy was doing a live YouTube show where the likes of Tracy Hackler would call in, Alan Nars, who worked at Topps, the Ripmaster. I think he owns a shop down in Florida now. He'd do these live call-ins. He'd wear this funky afro. He'd talk about how card companies should be fulfilling redemptions and should be, trying to honor the collector more and try to do a better job for people. So he unfortunately passed away, and we just wanted to kind of give a shout out because he kind of predated us and probably paved the way for us to be sitting here 15 years later and basically be doing something very similar. So just want to give a shout out to him, to his family, and anybody who was a fan of his or watched his show way back in the day. You'd have to be really old school now. We're going way back. So just wanted to say, Dr. Wax Battle, rest in peace, and your family, our condolences, and also to Mr. Iron Sheik, a freaking legend. So I just wanted to point that out. Our boy Cblaz still
He's
has
he's
he's
really getting
firing,
into
baby.
he's firing off on those sports bets. I've been seeing him post a lot about sports betting, which is good. Look, I think that's a huge market. Understatement of the show. So I think if he takes his talents to sports betting, there could be a great opportunity. I don't know what his angle is. If he's just having fun firing off on sports bets, or if he's trying to create a brand and a business or something like that. We obviously know and follow some people that have done that, and I think that'd be pretty cool, pretty exciting. And I think the sports betting, again, understatement, but that's a market that continues to expand. Once you open up into California, if you can open up into California, we're talking about massive explosion once you get the California market. From a legal perspective, there's plenty of people betting here. So, I missed last week's show. How'd the buying and how'd the show go, first of all? And I heard Mr. B-side made an appearance. There was a few other appearances as well. It sounded like it was a bang up type of show.
Well, I think we might do that more in the future. You got a lot of things going on in life right now, and so there might be times where, maybe I'll pop on here and just drop the link in the chat, and people can call in, and maybe I'll give people a little more heads up, and they can prepare their, you can come on here and probably say anything you want on Sports Card Radio. So we look forward to do that in the future. And what we did is we, kind of looked into the Panini robbery situation. I know that, you know a little bit about that. So we could just kind of walk through that situation, how we found out about it, calling the police department, getting the confirmation. The Panini phone lines, apparently, folks, this is breaking news into Sports Card Radio. As of the last 24 hours, the Panini phone lines are back open. So the last week they've been down. Some might argue the last 7 years they've been down. Some people are waiting on redemptions going on a decade or more. So the Panini phone lines are back open.
I got a question. So what do we think the outcome is going to be with Panini? Because clearly, okay, you have this robbery. You got Michael Rubin coming in here, taking over. They obviously they could have sold themselves to Panini. They decided not to. So Michael Rubin said, okay, you're not going to sell me the company. I'm going to take basically all of your employees. And so, and at some point he's going to end up with most or all of their licenses. He's now signing the top NBA prospect to autograph deals. And it's, what's the outcome? What's the outcome for Panini, like going forward? Are we thinking they're just going to be able to hang around? They going to go to unlicensed stuff? Like, what's the end game for Panini at this point?
That's the million or multi-million or maybe even billion-dollar question. I think hanging over the entire industry is what's going to happen. Is Panini going to sell or fold or burn down, maybe even literally, and let fanatics come in early and essentially gobble up the NBA and the NFL licenses and start that process early? I think they can begin making NFL or NBA cards in like 2025 or something. We know they can already make MLB, but gosh, hiring all these employees, making all this investment, prancing around with, soccer players with 8 million followers, they're trying to do more than just make MLB and Star Wars and some soccer brands. They need the NBA and the NFL. Now, Panini knows this, so there's a little bit of leverage that I guess Panini still has, is because they still have the license and they're still in control. But that by the day, that leverage shrinks. So I honestly, we never hear from Panini. We never hear from the CEO. We never obviously hear from the overall ownership. Like, it's a total mystery. We hear from Tracy Hackler. We hear from a couple other cats, and that's it. Like, nobody really knows what's going on. You just had about 35 employees jump over to Fanatics. Now those guys are under an NDA. They got sued. You're not going to get any kind of leaking out of them like you saw with the PWCC employees that left. There was a ton of leaking from those PWCC employees. The PWCC employees leaked that, one, they got fired, two, that they didn't get severance. And then when the PWCC ultimately got sold, those were leaks from former employees who leaked that out onto the hobby kind of hobby community. What will Panini do? Their leverage by the day is shrinking, but maybe they feel like they could go into the last year and maybe make a deal with Fanatics. They know Fanatics is there. They know they probably want to do a deal. They probably know about what price as well. I mean, a freaking deal was almost done probably 6-8 months ago. And Panini probably choked it. Now they're seeing the repercussions. Their employees got stolen. Their building literally got broken into and their servers were smashed. And now we're seeing Michael Rubin, again, continue to roll up the industry. He gobbles up a marketplace, gobbling up employees, gobbling up talent, gobbling up these athletes to exclusives. There's obviously those rumors that Wembanyama is going to be an exclusive to Fanatics. They probably won't announce that till he actually gets picked and he's an actual professional, just in case he pulls a Ja and a Zion. There's a lot of people speculating, well, why didn't they announce the Wembanyama exclusive? They probably got to wait till he's drafted just in case he pulls a Zion, or maybe even worse, he pulls a Ja. Let him get picked first. Let him actually.
What's worse? What is worse, pulling a Ja or a Zion?
Well, are we in the keep it real hour of the show? I didn't bring up Mariah Mills' Twitter account. I didn't bring up the Mariah Mills Twitter account.
I'm just wondering, like, what it says about these guys' career. It's not really the act of what they did. Because young guy, we were young at one time, and you do weird stuff, stupid stuff. Okay. But what I'm wondering is, like,
from a hobby perspective,
yeah, like whose career,
whose cards would you rather have?
Yeah, if I had to buy it, like it's like buy, sell, or hold. It's a choice of who you're buying between Ja and Zion, knowing what we know, knowing that Ja is clearly, he likes his firearms and he likes the club, and Zion, while I didn't dig into it, like he clearly is enjoying himself too, which is totally fine. Look, Kobe enjoyed himself. All these guys enjoy Jordan. You like, I know of a legit personal story from a girl with Jordan. So it's like all these guys are doing stuff. So but knowing what we know, are we taking the gang banger with the guns or the gang banger with the OnlyFans?
I literally bought probably 10 to 12 Zion Williamson rookie cards last night because they were like $3 graded for $3.50 each.
Oh, well, that's
nines and whatever. And I think I bought a couple 10s for like $6. Those will sell all day because he's not going to retire, so he's going to come back. People forget about whatever he's got going on, and he'll come back, and maybe now he's more motivated than ever. Maybe he has multiple children on the way. He's got to get motivated. Maybe like a lot of people, he gets that motivates him. With Ja, both these guys have sustainability issues. Ja literally drives down the paint and, kamikazes himself to the rim, hurt his wrist in the Lakers series, landing on his wrist because he's just flailing his way to the hoop. You can do that when you're 19, 20, 21, 22. Buddy, hey, Ja, I know you're not listening or watching, but bro, when you get your 30s and especially your 40s, you're not going to be in the league, but you ain't going to be kamikazing your way to the hoop. You've got to develop a lot of other skills than just sheer athleticism. That's only going to be sustainable for him for another year or two. So that's what I worry about Ja. And he's not a tremendous shooter. Even his ball handling isn't world class. He's a tremendous athlete. He literally might be one of the best, most athletic players ever, and certainly in the league right now. Zion, you could almost say the same thing. But again, you have injury issues kind of on the other side of the plane because he's so big and he's he's going to get hurt because he's so big, and he plays reckless too. But he's Shaq played reckless too and did pretty well. I love watching both of these guys. I don't blame. I'm not going to sit here and play the morality police. Lord knows if I had $200 million when I was these guys' age, what would be on Twitter about me and what would, oh my Lord. Like, boy, we could do a whole podcast. We could do a whole ESPN 30 for 30 for what I would have done with all that money and all that opportunity. And Zion's been hurt, so this fool's really been chilling. So I'm not here to judge these guys. I did buy probably a dozen Zion Williamson cards because they're just $3.50 for some PSA 9 rookies. Like,
Sure.
come on, Mike.
So
there's a bottom for everything.
Right. So like that's kind of maybe where I'm going is the downside now priced in, and all you're left with is either like these cards at $60. They certainly could go down to 20.
They're going down more because look, there's 22,000 of them.
Yeah.
Imagine if they were serial numbered.
But when we're talking about cards that are 10% of this, you're paying $6 to $7. Like, to me, it's like, yeah, your downside is you can barely sell it to, maybe it goes back up and you get 15 for it.
15, 20.
Yeah. So it could be that the downside is priced in to a certain degree, but I do think it says something about the modern player and we didn't have these questions about Kobe and LeBron and Shaq, and these guys followed Jordan, Bird, Johnson, Dominique, Charles Barkley. We didn't really have I think we started having questions like around Allen Iverson, and there was that whole kind of cornrow group that kind of came in, I think won the silver, and it's not a slight, but like you had the whole kind of thuggish atmosphere come into the NBA, and those guys, I think, were the first team to lose the gold medal until you had to have the redeem team. So there are times in the NBA when you kind of get a generation of player that comes in and is maybe a little bit more worried about how their hair looks and, what they've got on their hip and what they've got, what she's got in her hips or whatever. So it's like, I just think that maybe we're at that point in the NBA, but it could be maybe we're there, a society as well, with social media, with the money, with the access these guys have. Kobe had to corner the girl in the hotel room, and these guys, all they got to do is get on an app. And so it's a lot different. And when you have that kind of money and you pretty much can swipe right on anything and it's going to match, maybe we don't see performances like we used to, and longevity like we used to. And just look at the finals, who you got in there. You've got Joker, who nobody's talking about. And I think the guy
Jimmy Butler
for Miami, Jimmy Butler, he's fantastic. And you can just see him too. He's in great shape, takes care of his body. He's a great player. I think he's got a great attitude, but he's not, look, he's not one of the stars of he's not the most recognizable. He's a star, but he's not one of the most recognizable stars of the NBA. So, if that's the case, where are we going with the NBA? Like if that's the case, where is the NBA going? I think we know where the NFL is going. The NFL is going to be huge this year. Okay. And I think you could say that every year, but there was a little bit of a blip there when they started kneeling and doing all that. Once they got past that, the NFL's back, the NFL's back. And, I don't know too many people that ain't looking forward to the start of football season, even if your team kind of sucks. So great Nike ad. Nike had an ad with Colin Kaepernick that was just, look, I think you should stand for the national anthem. I think you should respect the country. But man, Nike had and that's another, branding thing where, Nike's not Nike's not trying to cater to middle America. They're trying to cater to the edge, the edges in the coast. And they put out an ad with Colin Kaepernick years ago. That was just so timely and so spectacular. I think it won an Emmy. It was so good. That's the kind of stuff I'd be doing from a branding perspective. Maybe Golden should hire us to do some branding, because we certainly are talking about them quite a bit. Did you land that Tiger Woods, or is that's
We're
still
gonna
got a
know in
minute to
about
go?
a minute 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
I
Wow,
mean,
$1,100. Is that a good price for a Tiger Woods autograph? I assume so.
ah, it's Tiger Woods. I mean, these guys were paying how much for John Zion cards? So I
That's
think
true.
honestly, when I see what people pay for these other people, I think Tiger, I think Jordan, LeBron,
Yeah.
Buster Posey. It looks like I won this. The freaking legends are underpriced.
Right. And I
The
think with
freaking legends are
Tiger,
underpriced.
Tiger in particular, I'm honestly not convinced he plays again. He's going to try. I mean, I think he'll play the senior tour. He'll go around on a cart and limp around the senior tour and try to, break some records out there. So there could be more access to his signature, but if he hangs it up completely, his signature is already incredibly hard to get. And I just think he has no reason to sign. Obviously, he has no financial incentive to sign. So his autographs, in my opinion, pretty safe bet. We've got a couple already, and getting another one wouldn't be the worst thing.
Yeah, I'm not. But well, here's the frame photo is at 1560. So his autograph, and there was some other Tiger stuff in the auction, but let's see, there was actually a really nice. There was a flag on here. I wonder what the flag went for. This is awesome.
That's cool.
Michael Jordan signed a speed limit 23 sign.
That's bad. That's bad.
So that's pretty cool. I mean, this will display well. Obviously, like a great talking point. You bring a girl over,
Yeah,
she's going to
that's
know who
sick.
Michael Jordan is. You could talk about it. You could be like, "Oh yeah, I met him, and he signed Best Wisher," But I really
Sure.
paid 4,600 on Golden, so I think that was pretty cool. I want to see what the Tiger flag went for. Hold on, let me.
The guy I'm looking for is Elon Musk. I would love to be able to back my way into an Elon Musk autograph at some point. I've seen some for sale, but I'd love to be able to back that. There he goes. Little known fact: only the past champions sign inside the United States. If you are not a champion, you cannot sign inside the logo. Only champions can sign inside the logo.
That's good knowledge there.
It's kind of a.
This is actually a good price on this. These can sell for. These can sell for like $4.
I mean, that just displays spectacular. That needs to be in a frame, shadow box, or something like that. That would display. And then around the Masters time, something like that would sell a little bit more. I did put us in for Masters tickets, and we'll find out in a couple weeks whether or not we are going to Augusta in the spring.
I'm freaking ready for that. Holy crap. I want
to.
That's like one of the things like I want to freaking go to the freaking Masters.
Yeah. So I put us in for that. And if we go, obviously, no cameras or anything like that, but we'll.
I don't need no cameras. I just want to see. I want to see Tiger, honestly, but I'll settle for.
We'll see. I'm not convinced he was in a boot the last time I saw pictures of him this weekend. His son won a little junior tournament down in Florida, so I think his greatest gift to the golf world might actually end up being his son.
His son's great. His son, I've heard his son do media. Yeah. His son is fantastic.
His son's great.
Hopefully his son, whatever he does, hopefully he's successful. But gosh, if he ends up being even a halfway decent golfer, that would be pretty fun.
It would be the greatest thing ever for the tour, for sure.
What do you want to do? Questions?
Take questions and let's bounce.
I gotta go to
work
because I think I won this Tiger Woods, so I've got to earn $1,100 here ASAP. Okay. Yeah.
I will say before you guys start, Upper Deck is suing Ravensburger for the new Disney TCG that's supposed to come out.
Well, I've heard about that, and I've heard that the lawsuit may or may not be filed yet. It might be one of those, like, for now, it might be like a Jeff Wilson bluff that I think. I mean, there's a lot of news out there that, and Upper Deck even came out with a press release. But I think if you go look, you can't even find the quote lawsuit on the internet yet. So we'll see if it actually gets filed, but this is a pretty big deal. Upper Deck is filing a lawsuit against the people. Ravensburger is the publisher. The co-designer is Ryan Miller. And Upper Deck is saying that they stole intellectual property from Upper Deck to make this new Disney Lorcana set. And if you guys remember, our boy Jeff Wilson hyped Disney Lorcana basically to the moon and said it was going to be bigger than Pokemon. Our boy Jeff Wilson got huge blowback from the Pokemon community. I mean, he got ripped apart in the Pokemon community. He said Disney Lorcana's going to be bigger than Pokemon. And now I think this actually lawsuit might help his argument, might help his case, because it's going, it could create doubt. Is this product even going to come out? There's some sample cards that have been floating around for a while that are pretty freaking valuable, to be honest. Tim, you know more about those than I do.
Yeah.
But when is this set, Tim? When's this set actually? When's Lorcana actually supposed to come out? Do you know?
Official release is supposed to be in August.
Okay, so we have an August release date. That, again, this is probably a timely lawsuit here by Upper Deck. They are probably trying to either halt the release, get a restraining order, get some money, something. So this is definitely something to keep an eye on if you are if you're a hobby shop and you sell this stuff, if you're waiting for this Lorcana stuff, if you're just kind of into this stuff, something to keep an eye. And then also this could spill over to the sports card world. Now these are drawings and it's a game. There's some different IP than making sports cards, but these legal battles can sometimes definitely spill over, and any precedent could spill over to the sports card world. So I think it's definitely something to keep an eye on. From my understanding, and things could have changed, the lawsuit still hasn't been technically filed, but literally Upper Deck, and I don't know if I can find it, Upper Deck literally tweeted a freaking press release about this. And when have they ever done this? I mean, when has Upper Deck ever done this? I mean, when was their last article? Their last article was May 24th. So they actually rarely post on here. April 25th. They literally post once a month. Upper Deck sues Ravensburger over stolen games. So Upper Deck is mad. And definitely something.
I don't know how true it is, but back in the day, they stole or pretty much copied Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and they got flack for that.
They did.
Yeah, Richard McWilliam, who's notorious for doing, oh my Lord, we could have a whole episode on Richard McWilliam, get people to call in and tell stories, but rest in peace, Richard McWilliam. But yes, he did counterfeit. It was Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Yeah, he counterfeit Yu-Gi-Oh cards and sold them. I mean, that'd be like Topps or Panini, just counterfeiting whoever, name your thing and printing them. So some interesting things over in the gaming card world, and we'll see if those we'll see if anything happens, and then we'll see if that spills over anything into the sports card world. But certainly pretty interesting. Questions? We doing questions?
Let's do questions.
Kevin O'Connor, who comes in every week with the 279 Canadian.
Yes,
we loving that, baby.
Got the fires up there.
Philly Joe says Tim in the house. Warlock says, you guys here, they no longer will grade Babe Ruth playing cards. PSA said we can't tell if they were faked. WTF is the point of your business if you can't tell a trimmed card. It's a tough business grading these cards, because think about, there's like billions of these cards, and you almost need an expert. You need a vintage expert, you need a modern expert, you need kind of experts on all these things. I'm not too familiar with the Babe Ruth playing cards. I know that I think they're even still, I heard the other day, they're still printing some certain cards from the 80s. Like even today, they're still like manufacturing them and forging them and stuff. So everything you buy, you got to be super careful with. That's why something like this, like why I bought this, I'm 100% sure. I'm pretty close to 100% sure this is a real freaking Tiger Woods autograph, right? It's a real card, real Tiger Woods autograph, real PSA slab. That's why I'm willing to, spend the money on something like this. But yeah, that's a scary situation. Why didn't you two get your own influencer cards? We don't want cards. We want a check.
Yeah, I'll take a check.
Yeah, Ruben, Michael Rubin, buddy, right here, buddy. We'll take a
or
check.
something else, but we won't go there.
Yeah, we'll keep it G rated. You guys not need a spot. Hey, ESPN. ESPN. We'll take a check too.
Hey, we'll take it way less. They're used to paying some of these guys pretty good money. We'll come in. We'll be cheap.
We'll be competitive.
We'll take less than Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. 10%.
Definitely.
We'll take 10% of whatever he got. I saw it's like 80 million or something. We'll do it for 800K right now.
Dan the Card Man says, let's not forget Iowa women's basketball player Caitlin Clark hitting her own card in an ad on the same day. So I guess they also did an ad with Caitlin Clark, and she hit her own card as well.
Oh.
So the rigged boxes, guys, are everywhere. ZJS says Aaron Nowak, who is this guy right here. Aaron Nowak ran a pay for picks program where he would buy the players' cards before releasing the article and then got caught selling the cards on his mom's eBay. Wow. Wow. He's lucky I don't know when this happened, but he's probably lucky we weren't making videos.
This was like 2 years ago, maybe.
Oh, okay, dang it. Wow, he's lucky. He got saved. Glove saving a beauty on that one, because that sounds like actually juicy content right there, man. Wow. So he ran a pay for picks program. I think I actually seem to recall this. Jeff Wilson did it too, where they could tell you, hey, buy Ja, buy Zion, buy these modern cards. Usually they weren't telling you to buy Mickey Mantle and Jackie Robinson, unfortunately. They were telling you to buy Ja and Zion. They'd charge you for it, and then they'd front run the picks, it sounds like. They'd go out and buy all those cards and then put them for sale on his mom's eBay. So that's, hey, this is who Fanatics should pay all these guys off. Fanatics should pay Sports Card Radio off. Fanatics should pay everyone off. Because there's going to be a way bigger controversy than this. This is like Little League compared to something Fanatics is going to do. That's going to be probably, would make news on ESPN. It's going to happen. The same way the Dak Prescott auto pen did, other things that have broken through in the sports card world. And you're going to need the community on your side. Bryant Vertigo, one love to Sports Card Radio. Keep crushing nuts. Dang right. Philly Joe, $10 with the sponsorship. Shout out to Our Side Recordings, who sent me a t-shirt and some other goodies. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Philly Joe is now an official sponsor of Sports Card Radio. So Philly Joe, send us, your eBay, anything you want us to pump. We got you. Bob Denver, Nike Pro China, Pro Pride, baby.
That's okay. That's okay. They ain't trying to sell sneakers to Nebraska. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But Bud Light made the mistake. Like you can't do what Budweiser did. You can do that if you're Nike. It's okay. Lululemon.
Yeah, they're trying to sell to the coast.
Right. And it's like, yeah, sure. Maybe you lose a guy in Arkansas that's not going to buy sneakers anymore. They don't care. That's not their market. And so I actually respect companies that it's fine, but like you can't do that if you're Bud Light. You can't do that. There's certain companies out there that clearly just shouldn't do certain types of marketing. And if they are, pay the price.
Dan the Cardman, Panini will go unlicensed and bank on them not losing soccer. Think the U.S. World Cup maybe saves them for a few more years. Fanatics will buy them eventually on cents on the dollar. Yep, that's all very, very possible. Very, very possible. Every one of those things could happen, especially, you get a U.S. World Cup and they still have the FIFA soccer sticker license. That's hundreds of millions of dollar business, especially during World Cup years. Samuel Lawrence, buddy, 99 cents. Guys, we might be at the end of the program. Oh, my hockey went off. It was 1-1. Maybe we're getting to nighttime here. We have Denver trying to close out the series against the Heat.
Let's go, Denver.
We have rigged boxes continuing throughout the hobby for one reason or the other, for marketing, because David Liner, who's going to act all surprised right here, is trying to impress his boss on a huge day at work. We don't know, but we got things going on in the hobby. Colin, any more words for the faithful out here?
Not really. Look, good to be back. Good to have, some sports card chat. We'll certainly be back again very soon here on the program. I'm sure there'll be more happenings and more things going on. And we'll see. We'll see what happens to this industry. I think we're still in a downtrend when it comes to sports card values. We're still in a downtrend when it comes to the brands and how they are marketing things. And look, if you're one of the 420 diehard fans tuning in at the current moment, this is great for you. This is great for you. Cards are going to be cheaper. Cards are going to be more affordable. You're going to be able to acquire cards, accumulate cards over the next several years. This is not something that is going to snap back. People are not going to be rushing to Target, beating each other up for blaster boxes anymore. We've seen this before in this hobby many, 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 many times. A lot of your favorite influencers are just getting back in the hobby. This is the first boom and bust cycle they've ever seen. This is probably at least our 4th and 5th boom and bust cycle that we've seen. Samurai Ghost with $1.99. Keep calling out these jokers, boys. That is for sure. We will be continuing to call them out here on Sports Card Radio with the help from super producer Tim in the background, who has, 5% shadow equity in Sports Card Radio. So when Michael Rubin comes knocking, hopefully it's for a big check. Ryan, about wraps it up for today. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful week and weekend. We'll be back some other time, some other place. But for now, we are out of here.
B-side on the beat.
What's going on with that PPP? You done a lot of talking, not a lot to see. Up in the millions like 2.3, but Jeff got it all, getting off scot-free. Try to talk tips like we talking about stock, but you're talking about men printed on called stock. When you open your mouth, I take it with a grain of salt, cause the market's down and you're a clown, it's all your fault. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. Did you dip, Jeff? I think you dipped, Jeff. What you talking about? I don't think you dipped yet. Willie's doing shady shit like the GOBs, like his whole failed thing with them NFTs, taking money from the people to pay. Most of them are broke, but that's okay. He's getting money. Even better, tax-free. Loving all the stimulus from PPP. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit.
B-side on the beat.
What's going on with that PPP? You done a lot of talking, not a lot to see. Up in the millions like 2.3, but Jeff got it all, getting off scot-free. Try to talk tips like we talking about stock, but you're talking about men printed on called stock. When you open your mouth, I take it with a grain of salt, cause the market's down and you're a clown, it's all your fault. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. Did you dip, Jeff? I think you dipped, Jeff. What you talking about? I don't think you dipped yet. Willie's doing shady shit like the GOBs, like his whole failed thing with them NFTs, taking money from the people to pay. Most of them are broke, but that's okay, he's getting money. Even better, tax-free, loving all the stimulus from PPP. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit.
Vegas! Later!